Zoom. I mean, talk to me. What was your reaction when the president, had that episode? Talk to me.
Yeah, it's 7:03 here in Nairobi, Kenya.
Okay.
Where I'm attending a training for media leaders. I am very relieved that the president is back at work. I've seen him chattering with, having a chatter with the president of Turkey. So it is not an emergency situation. There's no need to press the alarm button.
Exactly.
Anybody can trip over a cable, maybe a camera cable, or even carpets that are not properly laid. So this was what happened, and the president got up just as he did when it happened in Abuja. He got up quickly and continued his work. So there's no need to get apprehensive. The president is hale and hearty, as his minders have told us, and there is no greater evidence of that than to see him just a while after Istanbul seated beside the president of Turkey and talking about issues that are tremendous benefit to both countries.
Okay.
I saw Ambassador Bianca Ojukwu, who's the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, also attending that meeting with the president. So it's heartwarming that we've seen the president immediately back at work. There was no need to fret. There was no need to make a mountain out of a molehill.
Absolutely.
This was simply anything that could happen. Even a little boy can stumble in such a situation. So it is what it is. I'm happy that the president is back at work. That is what is important to Nigerians.
That is what is important.
That their president is hale and hearty and getting about his work.
Absolutely. All right, let's move straight to our main conversation for the day. Now, effective and sustained economic reforms will definitely boost investments and lead to growth. The ongoing reforms by the administration of President Bola Tinubu in the energy sector are driving investments after years of divestment by international oil companies, IOCs. One instance of this is of oil giant Shell PLC to invest an additional $20 billion alongside its partners, primarily because of the robust and bold leadership of the president. The chief executive of Shell PLC, Wael Sawan, praised President Tinubu's leadership for creating a healthy climate for investments to thrive and restoring investor confidence. At a meeting with the president at the presidential villa in Abuja, Sawan said Shell is deepening and expanding its investment in Nigeria, emphasizing that the country under the Tinubu administration is one of the countries attracting significant investment from global oil companies. Now let's share the story with you.
Started his oil exploration in Nigeria in 1936, but years down the line, the British oil company struggled with hundreds of onshore oil spills as a result of theft, sabotage, and operational issues leading to costly repairs and high-profile lawsuits. In 2021, Shell had sought to sell its Nigerian oil and gas business, but decided to remain active in Nigeria's offshore sector. 5 years after it made that decision, things have changed, and the British oil major is making bold decisions. This is after its leadership met with President Bola Tinubu. The Chief Executive Officer of Shell PLC, Mr. Wael Sawan, praised President Bola Tinubu's leadership for creating a healthy climate for investment to thrive and restoring investor confidence. At the meeting held at the presidential villa in Abuja, Mr. Sawan said Shell is deepening and expanding its investment in Nigeria, and the company is ready alongside its partners to invest an additional $20 billion because of the robust and bold leadership the Nigerian president has demonstrated. highlighting Shell's recent investments such as $5 billion in Bonga North, $2 billion in HI, and the gas project to NLLG. Mr. Shawan stated that the corporation is committed to long-term investment in the country, underscoring the stable economic environment.
We have really been in a space where we are very keen to invest in Nigeria, but I would say this has not always been the case. Your leadership, your vision has created an investment climate over the last few years that, I will be very honest with you, has propelled us to invest, in particular also as we compare to other investments around the world. Stability in today's environment will honestly have a premium for corporates, because we are investing not for one administration or 5 or 10 years. We want to invest for 20, 30, 40 years. And in the case of Nigeria, for many, many decades. And therefore, as we look today at opportunities to be able to allocate our capital to multiple different countries, I can tell you, and I'm proud to say, Nigeria stands as one of the ones that is attracting more capital than most.
Thank you very much.
President Bola Tinubu, meanwhile, has approved the gazetting of targeted investment-linked incentives to support the proposed Bonga South-West deep offshore oil project by Shell and its partners. The president also directed the special advisor to the president on energy, Mrs. Oluvehoin, to facilitate the gazette of the incentive in line with Nigeria's existing legal and fiscal frameworks.
Today, I can proudly say that confidence is returning to our investment environment. Hearing from you now, I could guarantee you that when I assumed the responsibility of this office, the pledge I made to people of the country and my background is to ensure transparency. And that's what I'm doing. I like what Shell has done and your partnership with Pursue and all of that. There's no better time to do it than now. And I want to assure you that what we promise is what we will deliver.
President Tinubu hopes that Bonga South-West reaches a final investment decision within his first term in office.
All right then, gentlemen, BKO and Majid, Shell's decision to commit $20 billion investments in Nigeria, has been attributed in part to President Bola Tinubu's leadership. From your perspective, BKO, what are your thoughts here? BKO, try and unmute. Okay, so we can hear you. BKO, are you with us? BKO, please go ahead. Okay, while we're waiting for BKO to sort out his technical glitch. Majid, Jamiu, are you with us, Majid?
Benga, how are you doing?
Yes, very well. Did you get my question?
Yes, I get your question.
All right, let me have your perspective.
Yes. Okay. You see, the president has made some reforms in the oil and gas sector, and the $20 billion investment by Shell is a testimony to the positive reforms under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And I think Nigerians are lucky to have a president who have a deep understanding of the oil and gas sector. Don't forget that he started as an accountant and an auditor in Mobile, Nigeria. So he understands the oil and gas sector inside out, and now is one of the best politicians out of Africa, not only Nigeria. So he's been able to merge his experience in politics and the economy to push Nigeria to a situation where Nigeria has now become a destination for investment.
Okay.
At the time, some other companies were perceived to be leaving some parts of Africa. $20 billion from Shell is huge. And I mean, that's equivalent to what Dangote Refinery is invested in the refinery sector. So this is a huge one, and I believe that the special advisor on energy will be able to tell us how they were able to convince Shell to make this happen.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
All right, let me have BKO's perspective here. BKO, are you with us now?
Now, the Shell CEO talked about a very good investment climate. What has the president done? They inherited all kinds of indebtedness and liabilities, and he prioritized paying those creditors. We were indebted to foreign airlines and to all kinds of people. The president prioritized paying those people because nobody wants to invest in an economy where he cannot get out the money that he has made. It will make no sense to invest somewhere and then you can't repatriate your funds. So the airlines and other investors were not happy with Nigeria. So government prioritized paying these people. And today, many investors are happy to come into Nigeria. Foreign direct investment will pick up tremendously in the coming months and years because of some of the things that the government has done. The stability in the foreign exchange market is one big factor because they can now plan. Investors can plan. Big corporations, big companies can plan because they know that we have achieved stability in that sector. Without stability, people cannot plan.
Sure.
And it is a big disincentive to investment. So, and of course, the president's diplomatic shuttles here and there have also helped to put Nigeria on that global map. It has helped us to get investors to realize that we are a good destination. We've become competitive again. It has not been easy going out to all those countries, but the president has achieved a lot. Everywhere he's been to, promises of investment have been made. Look at, for a long time, that sector, investors were not coming into the oil sector.
Yes.
Some of the investors are now coming back. Look at Petrobras, one of the biggest oil companies in the world. When the president visited Brazil, Petrobras promised to invest in Nigeria. So, and then we have this investment from Shell. Even the Shell CEO said this will be one of the biggest energy projects in the world. It is significant. Nigerians should be happy that this is happening. And to those who say, oh, this man is not achieving anything, he's a failure, in the fullness of time, they are going to eat their words because we are now seeing changes happening in our economy, and it's really going to be impactful. Jobs will be created, our currency will become stronger the more these investments come in, especially in the oil sector.
Exactly.
So, the CEO of Shell said, we have really been in a place where we are very keen to invest in Nigeria. But I will say this has not always been the case. Your leadership and your vision have created an investment climate over the last few years that I will be very honest with you, prepared us to invest. This is coming from the CEO of a company that are taking the decision to divest from our country. So it's good news, and I believe that things will continue to get better.
Absolutely.
The more companies come in to invest in our country, the more wealth will be created, the stronger our currency will become. Just ask yourself, what if MTN was not in our country? At the jobs that they have created.
That's true.
Look at the jobs MTN has created. Look at its contribution even to our GDP.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy that these things are happening, and the president really deserves his flowers because he has worked very hard going from country to country trying to sell Nigeria. I think the result, we are beginning to see the result of stability in our economic space.
All right, then.